From its humble beginnings with this, through the likes of this, and this, until its glorious climax with the likes of this, and of course this. The pop saxophone solo has forever captured the hearts of music lovers the world over. From the heyday of the swing big band sound, to the occasionally comical excesses of the 1980s, the emotional, vocal-inflected sound of the saxophone has always made people fall in love with the instrument. Through my pro career, I've been round the world and back many times, and when I say what I do for a living, the one thing that is guaranteed that people say is, "Ooh, I love the saxophone." At its best, a perfectly crafted, soulful pop sax solo like this Andy Schnitzer classic can transform a great song into a truly iconic one. In fact, when I was doing my compilation of 1980s sax solos, I was literally spoilt for choice. There are so many classics, often played by the most legendary sax players of all time, like Ernie Watts, Mike Brecker and Gerald Albright. And these master musicians always seemed able to craft the perfect musical vignette to lift a song, always performed with impeccable groove and tone. Then, on a scale comparable to the disappearance of the dinosaurs, something truly calamitous happened. One minute we had this all over the pop charts in 1992. Then, suddenly, there are occasional exceptions, and I'm sure you're going to be screaming at the screen about post-90s sax classics, but you're really scraping the barrel all of a sudden compared to previous decades. Let's put it this way. I started researching my 1990s and noughties sax video compilation, and I gave up in the end. So, what happened? Well, I don't think there's a single reason why the pop sax solo more or less died a death, but tastes were certainly changing. Grunge ruled the airwaves, and the Britpop invasion was in full force. You've got to believe there's no space for sax solos in Blur, Oasis or Verve songs.
They're all playing a different song, all at the same time, in different tempos, in different keys, and they call it jazz.
At the same time, rave and dance music was taking hold, and more programmed synthetic music really started to get going. House music properly kicked off when London's Ministry of Sound Club opened in 1991, and the mid to late 90s were just a weird hodgepodge of Spice Girls, singer-songwriter stuff like Alanis Morissette, some novelty hits, Celine Dion, and various other rock and dance hits. The 8-bar pop saxophone solo had well and truly left the building, ladies and gentlemen. And sadly, through the noughties and beyond, producers and artists rarely considered using an instrumental break of any kind, let alone a sax solo. But is that the end of the story? Well, today the music industry is unrecognisable from that of bygone decades, and the shady, genre-defining decisions made in the decadent wood-panelled office of the record label executive have been replaced by the fleeting and probably baffling trends dictated by TikTok. At the risk of being that really annoying boomer, the well-crafted 3-minute pop song with 2 verses, a chorus, a bridge, key change, and of course the all-important instrumental solo have been replaced by 4-bar loops with a vocal hook, which are incessantly regurgitated over hundreds of different people's 10-second video clips. However, this short attention span consumption of music has spawned a few really notable saxophone earworms. And even video games have brought the sound of the sax back to the ears of young people. Somewhere down the line, kids started to realise, hey, you know what? Maybe those sax solos from the 70s and 80s were pretty cool, actually. So, consider this video a eulogy to the almost forgotten art of the pop saxophone solo. Rest easy, my friend. So that's all I've got time for this week. Hope you enjoyed my eulogy to the pop saxophone solo. As always, go and check out my free Saxophone Success Masterclass, which is 1 hour of really solid teaching, which is going to transform your saxophone playing. And if you haven't seen it, go and check out those compilations I made of the greatest pop sax solos of all time. If you bought me a coffee, thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. And until next week, make sure that you practice hard, practice smart, and enjoy your music. Take it easy. With a vocal hook, which will incessantly... Oh, bit my tongue.